and you love people around me, and you know, maybe enjoy, as he said, you know, enjoy the love, cherish the love that happened around me, live a easier life, live a life that I felt prouder about. In the last 15 odd years, that's pretty much what I've done. And in some essence, the lesson out here that I get as an entrepreneur is pretty much the same thing. I say this to people all the time. You know, when Dhirubhai Ambani came into the world, he was broke, and you know, and when he left, you know, various bank accounts had some 90,000 crores in cash, but he died broke anyway. I mean, I don't know that he took any money up there or down there or wherever he went. So essentially, you come broke and you go broke, right? So what really matters, and the only balance sheet in life is, in these 75, 76 statistically indicated years you have, how much fun do you have? How much of a full life do you lead? It doesn't matter how much money you have at the end when you go. It doesn't matter. It really doesn't matter that much. But what change did you make? How much fun did you have? And what kind of an impactful life did you have? And in all the things that I've done so far, I've been working 20, 25, 30 years or whatever it is right now. I've been able to figure out one thing that, thank you. I've been able to figure out one thing, that it's really not the destination. We've been taught along, so put your head down, work, and there is a pot of gold at the end of the rainbow. My point is, at the end of the rainbow, you're dead. Right? There is no pot of gold. The only pot of gold you have is the rainbow itself. Is for you, this 30, 40, 50 years ahead of you. That's what you have. And when you look at that, and then look at everything around me, the best life I can possibly think of is the life of an entrepreneur. It is the best damn possible life out there. To all of you guys, I say welcome to this world of entrepreneurship. Enjoy an incredible life. Don't worry so much about the money. It'll come.
And just to add a little bit on this, because I know a lot of you are going to also cross the line where there will be people interested in funding you, and there will be opportunities for you to consider. And believe me, in the last, whatever, 10 odd years, I have raised multiple rounds of funding, I have sold my company, I have bought it, I've done all kinds of things. And one thing I learned was, don't listen to your lawyers. I think the problem is that all you guys have read all these, you know, international articles on TechCrunch, and people have expectations which are completely absurd. And a lot of times, what you need is the money. In fact, I remember when, you know, I raised my funding, I did not even know what funding meant. I thought that it was, you know, I was finally told it was like a debt which I don't have to return. That, and I was like thinking that Praveen Bhai and all these people are crazy that they're giving me money. So I never really negotiated on any of the terms. And believe me, when we had the exit, and I'm again, you know, I've not said this publicly, I think it's probably one of the rare occasions where the fund which exited gave me a bonus and said, we are exiting with a bonus which was not in the contract. And that is what it is. I think it's the relationship you build and a company you build which matters, and not these contracts. So please don't get buried into all these terms and accept any term which Mahesh Murthy gives you.
Thank you. He loves me so much. I think what we'll do right now is we have maybe 10, 15 odd minutes. I'd love to be able to take your questions, either directed at me, him, or anybody else in the audience. I'm happy to answer you on your behalf. So we have a couple of microphones in the audience. What would make it easy? If you put your hands up, I'll recognize you and I'll point the question. So this gentleman is first. Any more questions? Second, sir, you. Third, sir, you. Fourth, sir, you. And fifth, sir, you. Sure, I'll come to you. So please do just tell us your name and tell us who the question is aimed at. There are phones in the audience, so you could. Actually, you can have this. Thanks. What every entrepreneur needs. Huh?
Okay. Thanks, sir. Actually, long back I read one of your article. I think it is ideas are worthless. And
worthless, yeah.
Yeah. Can you elaborate to some extent?
Ideas are worthless, yeah. I think I put in value to an idea. I said an idea is worth 40 paise, because it's a dime a dozen. So a dime is, I think, 40 anyway, I was just kidding, 4 rupees 50 paise.
Here's the 1 paise per second.
So my point is that we are all brought up to believe that, you know, we are very intelligent and we can have great ideas. But we all know enough that an idea by itself has no meaning unless you can implement the idea, execute the idea, have a sustainable competitive advantage, build a team, lead a team, and grow the company to leadership, right? All of these things are all about execution, vision, leadership, and very little about the idea. So as an idea in itself, I can sit and I'm sure, so you and I can talk and we can have 5 great ideas in the next 5 minutes, but these are all worthless because somebody has to take the idea and turn it into something, and that's what makes it worthy. None of us is compensated for our ideas. We never invest in an idea. We invest in a business. And we invest in a team that can execute that business, to success. So an idea is an extremely small part of it. It's that 1% inspiration. There is the 99% perspiration I'm far more interested in. Without that, there's really just, 1%. So that,
If you have a good idea, do let it.
he's going to be free and he can execute it for you. He'll give you an acknowledgement when he makes $1 billion. Acknowledgement. There was a second, yes.
So I'm Shantanu Surpray from Sandhill Council, and with, all due respect to Vishal, I think I have to defend my fraternity.
Oh, lawyers.
So we've, maybe you've just not had the right lawyer.
I agree with you, sorry. I agree with you. I agree with you, no argument.
We've never
Next
had
question, next question.
together. No, but honestly, I think
I agree.
all I'm just sending is the message. Work with your lawyer, not against him. He'll actually add a lot of value.
So as you can see, Vishal has been recently traumatized by lawyers. Yeah. And
card, Vishal.
he has actually, to me, he's personally said that he's happy to go to Arthur Road jail and stay with Kasab, but not talk to a lawyer. Right? The gentleman behind, number 3.
And I agree with you, sorry.
So I'm Surendra Kapse. I have a question. Have you seen any study being done, or do you have any judgment as to what percentage of startups succeed in Indian environment today? Let's say you're
So let me answer that question in a different way. I understand what you're getting at. Let me answer the question. What is the number of people who die out of road accidents in Bombay every year? Do you have any idea? Must we say thousands? What's the number of people who die of entrepreneurship every year? 0. So that's really what I want to say, right? So my point is that nobody dies of entrepreneurship. Right? It's not a statistical MBA game that you're really talking about. Thank you. Right? So
I think the whole idea is कि मरते दम तक startup करेंगे. That is what it is. That is the spirit. So मरेंगे तो
yeah. See, my point is the success or failures in your eyes. If you lived a great life, the guy with a pandaba outside, he's got a life, he's the boss, he doesn't have to wear a suit to work and report to an asshole boss at 10:30 a.m. on Monday morning. How can you call him a failure? It's a damn successful life.
Success rate is 100%.
Yeah, if you've got a great life, it's a 100% success rate, right? And it's safer than crossing a road. Please be an entrepreneur. Yeah. There's a... Somebody likes you very much. Microphone there. Yeah.
I'm Pankaj. Means now you guys are up there, we have done investing and such.
You are up there, sir. We are down here.
Yeah.
You are up there.
What I want to ask is pretty serious thing in terms of minds of entrepreneurs, new entrepreneurs, that how to maintain a balance of own personal savings money and business and funding. Because you said that, don't go for funding. I like that idea because obviously you are selling something against the funding, equity or something like that. But many people we see in programs, there is a program in some channel, they show that by doing business, they are taking loans, personal loans, credit card loans, and then going ahead, it becomes really bad.
Should you be playing safe? How much money you should be investing in your startup?
Yeah, so means, what can be a better idea to go ahead with these?
So as I said, if you are really passionate about your startup, invest every rupee you have, take money from your friends, family, girlfriend, whoever else you can, and lut jao. That is how you will succeed. If you suddenly start thinking of startup bhi karunga or saving bhi karunga, kuch nahi hoga.
I'll put it a different way. I'll put it this way, say that, think about it. How much does it cost you to live a month? Assuming that you're living at home or wherever you're living and mummy dal roti or dal chawal to de hi deti hai, right? How much does it cost you, really? Net, for you to simply survive and pay your mobile phone bills and whatever, go out once in a while. Maybe it costs you 20,000 bucks a month, right? So maybe keep 6 to 12 months of that. So you 20,000 to 6 or 12 is 1.2 or 2.4 lakhs. If you've got 1.2 lakhs, 2.4 lakhs, anywhere in the middle, you know that for the next 12 months you can support yourself and follow your dream. Right? It's not a huge amount. For 1.2 lakhs, 2.4 lakhs, you don't need to go to anybody. Yeah? You don't need to go to anybody. I'm sure somebody put that money That's 1 year of a runway. During that 1 year, work as hard as possible to sell your product, sell your service, and get money from customers. The minute you make more than that 1 lakh, 2 lakhs, you're in business, dude. I don't think it's very difficult to make 1 or 2 lakhs. It's really not that difficult. Yeah? So a lot of the hesitations are in your head. It's not very difficult. Go for it.
So, my question is how to convert robots into human beings.
How to convert?
Robots into human beings.
How do you convert robots into human beings?
So may I explain my question?
Yeah, please. I think it requires serious explanation.
So,
Use Android operating system.
so being user friendly is most important, I guess.
I'm not unable to hear you, sir. If you could... Yeah, just yell it out, yeah? Or use the other microphone that the gentleman is bringing. Thanks. Go ahead. So, no, no sirs. That's Vishal and Mahesh. Yeah.
Sir, पैसा एक जरिया है, मकसद। आज की तारीख में पैसे को मकसद बना लिया गया है जरिए।
So, I understand your question, right? So, let me, what's your name? Hamid. Amar, sorry. All right, Amar. We have all brought up differently in some ways, right? I come from a, traditional South Indian Brahmin family where nobody in my family, I think for hundreds of years has ever worked, right? So, we are all programmed and brought up by our parents to be very risk averse. The reason why people come to IIT is to de-risk their life. From IIT, why they go to IIM is to de-risk their life even further, and why they go from there to an investment bank to even de-risk it even further. We are taught that take out the risk, take out the risk, take out the risk. You know, why you want to marry somebody wealthy is to de-risk your life, and so on and so forth, right? It is a mentality, it's a mindset. For some people, that's the way they are built. I can't pretend to say that entrepreneurship is for everybody. You know, if everybody was an employer, who would be an employee, correct? So, that also, I will also still say that there are many people who are kind of somewhere between employer and employee where you have entrepreneurial people working for you. That's a different thing. But essentially if you're saying why are most people robots, as in if you're defining employeeship as robots, I mean, that's what I understand it. I think that's the way, either that's our DNA, that's the way we are hereditarily brought up, but that's the way we are programmed to be. Why do people go to IIT? Why do people go to IIM? It is because it is to take the risk out. लोग डरते हैं, insecurity होती है, वो तो ये डर निकाल दो, IIT जाओ, नौकरी तो मिल जाएगी, IIM जाओ, 50 लाख की तो कुछ तो मिल जाएगी तुम्हें, right?
And in fact, think कि the robots हैं भैया, अगर सब smart होते तो यार फिर startup तुमको बनाने की opportunity कहाँ मिलती? I think one of the robots को we'll hire them later यार, IIT में इतने लोग पढ़े हुए हैं, हमको hire करेंगे ना बाद में यार. I'm saying let us focus on building your business. I'm saying don't worry about robots, worry about yourself, have your idea and execute. That is more important. Robots will remain robots and Mona Darling and robot का हम लोग बाद में देख लेंगे.
बहुत है sir. More questions? We have time for having 3-4 more questions. Any others? One. I'll just take, give him the microphone. Any more? 2. I'll come to you, sir. Any more? 3, sir. 4. All right, sir. 5 there.
This is Samir Patil. Do you think a day will come when VCs start chasing the entrepreneurs instead of the other way around?
So we do that already. In the case of entrepreneurs that we like and that we've been passionate for a while, we just, for example, we invested in a company in October. We haven't announced it yet. We'll announce it tomorrow, day after sometime. But we started courting them a year and a half ago. We invested in them 12 months ago. Even though we had no formal whatever it is, we would meet them once in 2 months and so on and so forth and meet with them. And we do that regularly with companies that we are interested in. Not only do we want to see what we're up to, we would also like to show that we are interested in the business.
I have a different view here. The day will come when entrepreneurs will become VCs and fund the startups themselves and not some stupid banker from America coming here and doing that. That is the day I'll be happy.
Yeah.
That is what we want.
I think the best...
That is what is going to happen. That's already happening. That is what, that's the trend. That's what I want to see. I don't want to see American accent bloody people coming here having no idea and saying, why are you not making Ramayana into a game?
That guy from Sandal is going after you again.
Sorry, I agree with you. I mean, I think if you meet an American accented VC, don't do a Ramayana game, my suggestion.
No, actually, even
And don't do anything with Panchatantra.
in most companies in most countries in the world, the best known investors are ex-entrepreneurs. So in the US, the best VC funds are run by ex-entrepreneurs. I think I would imagine that at Seed Fund we do a reasonable job at Praveen, Anand, myself and others because we're all
That's why
ex-entrepreneurs.
please take money from Mahesh.
Thank you. Right. So I think you will not really have that much of an issue. As an entrepreneur, you want to really work with other entrepreneurs. Whether you have a financial interest or not, that's separate. So I help and guide companies, and maybe 12 months later I'll say, look, if you're looking for money, I may have it. If not, I'll guide you to others who are looking for money. But absolutely, we pursue entrepreneurs. We've got them on a list. We work down the list, and we pursue them. Right? There was number two was there. Yes, sir.
Whether philanthropy can be a business model.
What can be a business model?
Philanthropy.
Philanthropy can be a business model.
So philanthropy by itself may not be a business model because whether I get something out of it. So I want people to be immortal like Sir Alfred Nobel. He was a philanthropist and created a Nobel Prize. So we want to go have people going for immortality through philanthropy, and we want to convert this into a business model and make it a part of the financial inclusion.
I'm not sure what you're getting at. I mean, there are many ways to stay immortal in the news. Even Kasab is immortal in the news, right? I don't think he did philanthropy, right?
I see.
I think there are various
philanthropy
reasons
because
people do philanthropy, right? There's Bill and Melinda Gates, he's spending his life trying to eradicate polio, malaria, whatever it is. And within that also there are models where you say that, look, I'm going to spend the money, but I want it done in such a way that it generates money to keep itself going so that I don't need to give it more money. So many social investments happen in a way which are kind of net zero, which basically means once I put the money, I don't want it back, but that enterprise should run by itself forever.
See, I think the problem here is that we have in India billionaires of money, but bankrupt with time.
Right.
What people need here is time and mentorship. That is the philanthropy we need. We don't need anybody's money. There is enough money because if you give time, these companies can become big and they will be able to make money. So I think philanthropy in itself is not what's going to help us. It's the time required.
Involvement. Right.
Involvement and mentorship. That is what is required.
Sorry, Mahesh, Vishal, just series of announcements. Just one announcement. Can we have Ashwini Gaur, Puneet Sharma, Vimal Shah, and Pranav Sheel come sit up here in the front row, please? You know what it's for. Thank you.
You'll be getting your checks right now. Either that or you have to sign some and pass some money out. The question is there, yeah.
Hi Mahesh, this is Murtaza. Today, what do you think is a good exit strategy or a good exit option for startups in India, technology startups in India?
The exit option is to make a good profitable company. That is the option. That is the only thing you should think of. That is what is more important. If you start suddenly thinking that I'm making a company, somebody will buy or somebody will do this, that is not going to happen.
My question was from a VC perspective.
Okay, so
what do you consider?
all right, so great. See, 99% of the time, successful companies don't take VC funding, right? 1% of the time they do. 99% of the time you don't. And 99% of the time what Vishal said is right. To run a profitable company that pays you money as well as gives you satisfaction. The remaining 1% of the time when you do take money from somebody like us, there are 2 or 3 startup modes available, exit modes available. One is essentially called a management buyout where an investor comes in, takes a stake, and at a price you buy the investor out so the investor gets his money back. That's not the most desirable way because what happens is you already own the majority of the company. You're not going to pay a huge premium for the remaining shares. You anyway have control, right? So the investor gets the worst kind of deal in that. In some cases, private investors can also take interest. Say, I'll give you 2 crores, you give me back 20% a year and blah, 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 whatever it is. That could happen. Professional VCs can't do that. We're not allowed to do that. There are 2 other ways. The third way is pretty much going public. Till 2 months ago, you had to hit 100, 200, 300 crores in revenues to go public. But now I'm actually pretty bullish. I've been spending a lot of time with the BSE SME exchange. It's pretty much kind of aiming to be like the NASDAQ of India, where the first company that went public had 1.5 crores in revenues, 27 lakhs in profits, and had a 28 crore market cap. It went public with 1.5 crores in revenues, right? So that's a possibility. And the fourth possibility is a trade sale, which is, somebody acquires the company or acquires the investor's stake. So these are the four possibilities.
Yeah, and just to add to that, I can tell you with personal experience now that I think large companies have realized that by just spending crores of rupees and more in advertising, they cannot compete with startups. The acquisition wave has started recently. I sold my company to Disney, and I can tell you, every major company today is looking at India, and their first choice is to look at an acquisition. So they are no longer thinking of coming here and starting their businesses on scratch. So I think you are all sitting on a huge opportunity to eventually, from an acquisition perspective, India is going to be very, very hot.
So there was a fourth question which was there, sir, and I'll come to you. You were the fifth question there. Yeah? One last? Okay, basically I'll take your question, we'll make the last question. Vishal and I will give you our mobile numbers. Vishal will give you his secret hideout where you can meet him and so on and so forth.
Can I start?
Please.
Does it require really a great idea to make a business, to make money?
So a very average, mediocre idea, but a very good team is what can make things happen. And a great idea with a very mediocre team will completely screw it. So I would say, and I think that is again the same question asked, that execution is much more important than the idea itself.
Even if the idea is very common, very general, still.
Yeah, so I think the key thing is really this, that key thing is, do you have, and as an investor we say, do you have a sustainable competitive advantage? So you have some advantage now, a competitive advantage. Is it sustainable? So the sustainability can come from the fact that you are always going to execute better than the other guy. Or it can come from the fact that there's something built into it which the other guy can't copy fast enough. So victory usually comes, large companies do well, grow well, because they build sustainable competitive advantages. But the interesting thing is these competitive advantages keep changing over time. Hindustan Lever and Procter & Gamble built a huge advantage by having 5 lakh distributors for their products in India. I think they will be very worried because I believe 5 years from now people will not go to the distributors but may buy them from the mobile phone, right? So you have to figure out with every era, do you have some sustainable competitive advantage? And you also find that the great companies built over time are not built on huge, brilliant ideas, right? And often they're not the first. Google was not the first search engine. It came 5 years after Yahoo and just built a slightly better search engine with something called PageRank. Facebook came 5 years after MySpace. So Yahoo came 2 years after Excite. So these are not like earth-shattering ideas. These are simple, easy to understand, little advantages executed really well. So that's what I want to add. So I think what Lavin and gang, so these gangs are, all these guys are men in blue with headphones, headsets, whatever Glock revolvers at their waist and all that, they're kind of pretty much elbowing us to move on. So what I will do is I'll share my number, my email address, and I'll request Vishal to do the same. Please be in touch with us. My email address is mahesh@seedfund.in. It's pretty straightforward, mahesh@seedfund.in. And if you can take the number, it's 98922-49969. Yeah? And
Since I always work on referrals, you can call Mahesh and he can refer you to.
He wishes I refer companies to him, right? It's just vishal@indiagames.com.
No, it is now, I'll give you my latest.
Vishal at Disney, Mickey Mouse, something.com. Great. I hope that was interesting, and I thank you very much for the time, and all the best, guys. Have a great day today. Thank you.
Thank you. And these were all my personal opinions only.
I agree. For the smashing